Welcome to the dRofus Learning Channel. Today we're going to be talking about how to use dRofus to manage finishes. Inside of dRofus, I'm going to first look at the items overview. Inside the items overview, I have my finishes organized in a few different ways. I have it in a subgrouping of wall, floor, ceiling, and base. Let's go to flooring. I need to create a new flooring material for my reception. So before I can apply that finish to the room, I need to create it as an item here in my items module. So I'm going to click new item. I'm going to create a ceramic tile. I'm going to give it a price of $5 a square foot and a reference ID of CT01, which is what I'm going to want to tag the material inside of Revit. And because I'm connecting this to Revit, I want to make sure this box is checked. And because I'm managing the materials based on responsibilities, I'm going to set this to finish. Now that I have the ceramic tile started, I can also do a few other things. Like I could add the manufacturer, and hit save. So I have the specification started. I could continue down that path, but now I'm ready to add the ceramic tile to the room. So I'm going to go back into the rooms module and I'm going to select my reception. I'm going to right click, go down to finishes, and open up the finishes list for the reception. You'll notice that I have the paint already started, I have a ceiling and a base, and I'm missing my floor. So I'm going to select add, and I'm going to add the ceramic tile to that floor. While I'm here, I'm also going to update the walls to add an additional paint. So adding materials to a room is very simple. Now that I have finishes for this room started, I'm going to open this room within Revit. Now that I have the room selected, you'll notice that I don't have the base, ceiling, wall, or floor finish mapped within the actual room. If I go into dRofus and I look at the attribute configurations for synchronizing my room, we'll see that when I sync this room, the items list finishes, base, ceiling, floor, and walls, the BIM ID that I filled out is going to feed into the room properties of that specific room. So simply hitting synchronize will push those values into the room. We'll see that information has now been updated in the room properties. I could go back into dRofus, modify these settings, and hit synchronize, and the room information would then update. What I've also been able to do is map the materials to Revit Materials. If I go to a 3D room, you'll actually see this is the same room, and we're looking at actual 3D modeled elements, walls as well as floor. And the material tags don't have any information showing. Because I know one of these walls has to have PT2 and one of these walls has to have PT05, I can go into my Manage Modify tool and actually paint these rooms. So if I look for paint, and I can paint this wall, that material, the PT01 then shows up. The next wall is gray. So how I'm doing the painting is I've actually mapped my items directly to the materials inside of Revit. If I go into the attribute configurations for my materials, you'll see that I'm tying in the budget information to the cost, the reference information to the mark of the material, as well as the manufacturer information. So if I go to the Revit Materials under Manage, and I look at that paint, and I look at the identity data, we'll see that the manufacturer information of Sherwin-Williams is actually coming directly from dRofus, as well as the mark. I want to link the ceramic tile from dRofus into Revit so that this material tag will actually present itself to this particular floor material. I do that going to dRofus and going to the items and families. I want to map the tile inside of dRofus to the tile that's inside of Revit. Now that I've linked those two materials together, you'll see that my tag has been updated automatically because it's pulling from the same information. Again, I go into Manage and I look at my ceramic tile. And I look at the identity data. You'll see the manufacturer information I put in as well as the cost has been filled in directly from dRofus. One of the things that I can also do is I can create some alternates. Let's say that my ceramic tile might need to have an alternate for a costing exercise. If I go back into dRofus and I go into my flooring material and I look at that ceramic tile, I can simply go into my items and set up a new child. Let's say this child is an alternate. And has a different price associated to it. What I can now do is go back into the rooms information for that finishes list, simply select the tile, go down to swap items, and I'll have all of my child options to that material. Now that I've made that change, I can again go back to Revit, go to dRofus, synchronize that room, and I'll see the alternate information in my floor plans. If I toggle back, I want to synchronize the materials. I can simply do that by going to items and families and selecting the tile to synchronize. Here the difference is this tile is tied to my 08 and I want to have it tied to the child, this 0801. So what I want to do is unlink this material, select the child of that ceramic tile, and link those together. As soon as that link is done, you'll see that the tag updates as well. Hopefully this has been a helpful overview of the new features within the dRofus Finishes module.